guess I wanted to take a break from the usual content. I had a gap of recording because I was honestly mostly watching AGDQ, and instead of recording videos, I was like, but I could be watching a speed run while it's live. Anyways, though, I have some battle songs. I might as well flip while talking. But basically, one thing I have been thinking about is the plateau. And I feel like I have plateaued severely in my growth. When you're learning something brand new, in my case, Balisong flipping, um, you tend to struggle, and you know, maybe you're natural, but I think it's pretty reasonable to say that you struggle when you're learning a brand new thing like Balisongs, and you take some time to be able to get down the basics. In this case, the fan, I mean, the basic opening was hard to figure out. Wait, that wasn't even the basic opening. That's a wrist pass. um, the basic opening, a fan, chaplains, um, the rollover. Oh, that was a shitty rollover. But those are and then the aerial. But those are like, I would say, the core building blocks. And when you learn those, it starts to open a world for you. It takes a while to get down. I remember being really afraid of chaplains at first, and now I feel pretty comfortable with chaplains, besides that I'm just hitting the microphone. Also, I'm sorry, I'm talking kind of softly. It's really late at night. But at some point, you hit a plateau. And for a lot of people, the first plateau is the behind the eight ball, which, it took me a while to learn, because as much as I like that Wired interview with Corbin Levins, I found it really difficult to understand how to do the behind the eight ball. But I feel like when you can breach the behind the eight ball and helix, that's when you really start to feel like you're comfortable and you're able to do, honestly, a really cool trick that it always looks good, as long as it's smooth. The helix looks really good. The behind the eight ball looks really good. And when you combo those into each other, you start to feel like you have the ability to combo, to flow from something to another. And it takes a while to build up your flow, but it's a really big plateau. And I've seen a good number of people fall off. And, like, let's be real, the Balisong hobby, it's expensive, and it is about doing cool tricks with a dangerous item. It doesn't have to be dangerous. Like, no, of course, all the Balisongs I have here are live, but essentially, like, for me, it's about doing the tricks. It's not about the knife. Knife is cool, yay knife, but I find that a lot of people, if they lose interest, or they sometimes they fall out of the hobby, and that's pretty normal. Some people, you know, our 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 interests change over time, and some people fall off, and it's a shame, but it happens. But also sometimes, even if you stay in the hobby, you hit a plateau, and right now I'm at a plateau where I feel like I haven't learned anything new in, honestly, a really long time. There are some tricks that I started to learn, but then I just don't use them regularly. It doesn't stick in my brain. I was learning the reverse helix, I think, or was it the reverse behind the eight ball? I think it was the reverse behind the eight ball, where it goes backwards. It's behind the eight ball. It looks like that, but then the reverse behind the eight ball, it's like, oh god, I didn't see. That's the thing. The point is that I didn't do it regularly, and so now it's gone from my, the gray matter of my brain. Do you hold the bite side? And ooh dear, good thing this knife is not actually that sharp. I thought it was sharp, but thankfully it's not sharp enough to cut. But not me, at least. Unless I'm trying, or I fuck up really badly. But yeah, there's several tricks that I haven't gotten down. I've been going through or at least at one point, I was going through the squid industry tutorials, and sometimes I'd look at Big Flips' videos. Um, and I made a point. I was like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna watch all the Big Flips videos, and I'm gonna learn one new trick every day. That didn't happen. So here I am. I still haven't gotten the short stop down. I know how to do it. It's just very inconsistent. I haven't gotten the chatter down. I haven't figured out how to get out of a Murnax ladder into anything else, really. Once I'm at the end, I'm like, what do I do? I don't remember how to do certain things. And, the obvious answer is just practice, right? But here I am as someone who actively hates practicing. I used to be a professional trombonist. I mean, I still play and I still teach. I'm not nearly as good as I used to be because I don't practice. I don't have anything that I'm working towards. I used to be in a music conservatory. I was in the highest performing ensembles. I was really good at what I did, and I was in a really competitive field, and I was in a really competitive environment. I was in music school. Everyone there is more or less trying really hard to do their best, and so I lost that because I graduated school, and I didn't go into the professional field of playing because that's really hard. I write music, which I love my job. I love my day job. I'm an award-winning video game composer. I think that's pretty fucking cool. But my my playing, it I stopped playing as regularly and it started to slide. And I'm still good. I teach after all, and I'm able to do whatever the fuck I want, more or less. But I'm not at the cutting edge of my ability anymore. And also, if it's not painfully obvious, I'm transgender, and I did speech pathology to learn how to do voice training, and here I am. I'm trying to do more cognizant thinking of using my voice and raising my voice and blah blah blah. And, oh, this flower actually my friend gave to me when I was in high school, which was a long time ago, and I'm like, I still have it. It's really sweet that I got it from her. And voice training, I didn't do because it made me feel bad. The beginning is when you start to learn at something, as Jake the dog said, sucking at something is the first step to being sort of okay at something, or something along the lines of that. And voice training is really hard because I don't normally have too bad of dysphoria, but like, in order to get good at it, you have to listen to your own voice be in this awkward middle zone that's like, you know, when you feel like, especially with gender, it's when you feel like you're sounding like a man trying to sound like a woman, and that sucks. It really fucking sucks. And there are people, I have a lot of friends that just, they have the most beautiful fucking voices, and they put so much work into it. And I didn't do that. Here I am with Balisong flipping, and I feel like I've plateaued because I have my standard go-to video. And a certain individual on YouTube, I remember seeing a comment on his channel and about how he's flipping, he's doing the same tricks over and over, blah blah blah. And admittedly, I'm doing the same tricks over and over. I'm gonna be perfectly honest, and I'm not gonna pretend that I'm the best flipper ever. I'm decent. I I think I know more about Balisongs than my ability can really show because of just the wide variety of Balisongs that I have. And a lot of people I know who are collectors they have a lot of knives, but they might not necessarily be the best flippers. That's okay. I think I know a lot because I think a lot about Balisongs, even though I'm not able to do all the crazy tricks. And a lot of times, the tricks that are really hard to do are just advanced versions or a compound of other tricks. The scissor, for example, is sort of a weird aerial. And I know how to do aerials. I don't really do aerials commonly in my flow. It's not really my thing. And some people have really clean aerials. Red Edge has amazingly clean aerials, and he can combo for them for days. I mostly do fans and twirls as my like regular kind of day-to-day fidgeting. I'm not a competitive flipper. I don't go to competitions, and my content. It's just talking and reviewing about this hobby that I'm really passionate because I really like Balisongs, even if I'm not the best flipper, and I don't plan to be the best flipper. I There's obviously always someone better, and flipping is such an arbitrary thing. And I mean, I went to school to be a professional musician, and the best. I was the best bass trombonist in my environment at the time, but there's always someone better, and the field of getting work in that is fucking nightmarish. With Battlesong flipping, I have no interest in being the best, not even close. I do this because I like it, and I do it because I enjoy it. I have hit a plateau where didn't I don't really know new tricks, and I haven't been working towards anything. Because when I was first starting, I was like, oh, I gotta learn the new thing. I gotta learn a new thing. I was building towards like, oh, it took me a while to get this down. It took me a while to get this down. And I remember I learned the full twirl, and I was like, oh, I'm never gonna learn the extended full twirl. And then I heard it called a twirl ladder, and I go, what's that? Now that I'm learning ladders, I want to learn the twirl ladder. And it turns out it's just an extended full twirl, and that's the thing I do in my sleep. I've literally dreamed about Balisongs, and if I'm flipping a Balisong in my sleep, I'm doing an extended full twirl. And I think it's okay to plateau. I mean, the thing is, you will plateau. It's No one's growth is a completely linear, smooth line. It's a lot of ups and even downs. I did karate for 15 years, but and eventually I stopped. I went to college and I slowed down, and then at some point I kind of forgot to go, and then I realized that even though I did that for literally half of my life, there's a lot of things that don't stick with me anymore. I don't remember everything that I did growing up, and I think that's okay. It's sad to lose an ability. It's sad to lose something that you had. I think that's normal to feel sad if you've lost something that you had before. But I also think that it's okay to it's okay to lose something. It's okay to regress even in ability and things. We can't dedicate all of our time in our lives into 8 different things that we care about. Like I have dedicated a lot of time and energy into making Balisong videos because I really care about this and I'm passionate about this, and I'm scared that maybe in like 5 years, I was like in maybe 1 year or 2 years, I'll get super sick of it, and I'm like, oh god, I spent all this money on this. Thankfully, I'm going really strong. I appreciate it. I arguably spent a lot of time and energy, and I mean my parents' money doing karate, but even though I don't do it anymore, it doesn't make that any less valuable in my life. It doesn't make that any less important. I'd like to think I still have really good fundamentals. Like, yeah, I don't remember all of the katas, but I know how to throw a punch. I know how to throw a kick. I'll kick your ass. I flip knives and I do karate. I'll kick your fucking ass. Anyways, I've just been thinking about what it is that we do with our hobby. Why do we do it? Are we aiming for something? Are we aiming to improve, to grow? It's always good and nice to grow. And it feels I have been in such a culture that stagnating is bad. And like, I wouldn't say stagnating is good. When you stagnate in performance arts, you stagnate in physical form with karate, it can feel bad to feel like you're not growing and improving. But when you do something that you love, and in this case, I love flipping Balisongs. I'm passionate about them. I love collecting them. I am okay with not improving in a sense. Like, my fundamentals are more or less good, and I flip for me. I'm not flipping for anyone else. When I play my music, arguably it is for other people. It's a performance. It's a collaboration with other people in an ensemble. When I did karate, I had teachers, and I was working towards mastery of this form. Karate wasn't exactly something that I did for fun. It's not like I fought people for fun. I kind of wish I did though. But with knife flipping, it's not like I'm collaborating with other people. And yes, you can do that, but like this is for me. This is something that I do absent-mindedly throughout my day. This is something that I'm like, what do I want to flip today? And I go through, and here on my stand I have some knives. Like, I haven't flipped this in a few days. But essentially, I've just been thinking about growth and how there's always something more to learn. There's always the next horizon, and to be better. But also, like, I think it's okay to not have to push yourself so hard in everything. And if it's not fun, you don't have to do it. Some people in the Balisong community are collectors. I'd like to think that my place in this community is more of a collector than as a flipper. And all of us flip, as far as I can tell. And I'm not gatekeeping anyone's ability, and someone who's brand new and someone who's been flipping forever, and if they don't have much skill, that's fine. If it makes them happy, it's fine. But like, there's some people who I've seen them judge other people for having a knife that is so expensive and beyond their level of flipping, and that's bullshit. I think that's just people being jealous that they have an expensive knife that they don't have. Like, the person that they see have expensive knife, but like, if someone were to ever say like, oh, that you have a knife that's way better than your ability, like, fuck you. I did I did my time and research finding the deal and closing it, and just working for the money to pay for it. I don't know. And inversely, some people gatekeep themselves. They say, I had this knife that I really want. Like, some people, I had a Serif, and I thought it was great, but I wasn't good enough for it, so I sold it or something. I'm like, bitch, what the fuck? You had a Serif? That's a Grail. That's not a cheap knife, and you're gonna sell it because you don't think you deserve it. If you acquired it, I mean, if you're a kid, then like your parents acquired it. But if you are an adult and you acquire a knife that you like and you want, you don't have to justify an arbitrary level of skill to own it. You own it because you want to. You own it because you like it. And if you don't like it, that's fine. You can sell whatever you want. I've sold and traded so many knives. There's so many things that I've like sat in my collection. Like, I really like the Gaboon, the Empress. I'm still figuring out if this is gonna stay in my collection. Maybe it'll move in my collection. Maybe I'll trade it for something else. Maybe I'll sell it. Maybe I'll keep it. I'm not sure, and that's okay. Doesn't make my time with it any less valuable. But I'm not saying like, I have the GA and I sold it, not because I didn't think I deserved it, but because it's worth a lot of money. And other knives, I have a Thistle, and the Mantis Thistle is a knife that can go for an ungodly amount of money. I got it for a really good deal. And is it the best flipper? No, it's not, but I own it because I want to own it. Just because it's not the best flipper doesn't mean that it doesn't deserve a spot in my collection. I want it because I've always wanted a Thistle. It's a gorgeous handmade knife, and collectors, they collect for many different reasons. And I think it's okay to be a collector without having a large collection. It's okay to flip knives without having to feel like you have to work towards something new. If you're having fun, cool. If you want to learn something new, do it. I sometimes see combo videos, and then there's like Verd.blade, I think, is the Instagram handle. She has like these really nice combo videos where it's just like, here are various tricks, but then here's some flow, and here's the breakdown of it. And when I just see a video of like a knife going really fast, I can't necessarily break down what exactly the tricks are doing from looking at it. I can do that for like certain things. Um, I fucking play Guilty Gear and Street Fighter, and that's another hobby that I'm like, I love this hobby and I want to get good because it's a competitive thing, but There's only so good I can get with how many hours I can put in because I'm getting older and I don't have infinite time and energy. Um, but yeah, I think it's okay to not have to put all of your focus into constantly improving. I think it's okay to be comfortable with who you are. And I remember thinking about how complacency felt like such a dirty word. And I think complacency in the right context can be okay. In the case of flipping a dangerous fidget spinner, I think it's okay to be complacent with a combo that you're comfortable with. In my case, my combo is, what is it? I do an extended full twirl into a thumb rollover, into a helix, into a wrist pass, into a infinite ladder, and then I flip back into a rollover. Normally I did it wrong because normally I end up on the safe side, but that's my basic combo that I just did really slowly, and fuck it. It's comfortable and it's easy, and I can do that on every knife. And if I can't do that on every knife, then I go, what is up with this knife? And that's like that's my stable thing. That's my go-to. Um, anyways, this is just a long-winded sort of self-reflection. Again, these videos, everyone that watches my videos, I'm thankful for you. But these videos are for me, and I just wanted to put my thoughts into a somewhat organized thing, and I wanted to kind of put this down. I guess this is a public video diary entry or some sorts, but like, I don't know. It's just a thought that I had. I mean, the whole reason why I made these YouTube videos is because I have a lot of thoughts on things, and then people would ask me, and then you just say the same things over and over to the point where like, fuck it, I'm just gonna make a video, and then I'll just share the link. But yeah, I guess that's my thought on the Plateau. And I think I originally, when I started this video, I thought it was gonna be in a more of a frustrated tone of feeling like I don't know how to get past this plateau that I'm on. And I think when I'm ready, I will watch the videos. There's always a I will, I coulda, I woulda, I will eventually. And we do the things we do when we are ready for them. I haven't exercised in a hot minute. I used to be fucking 40 pounds lighter than I currently am, like a year and a half ago. And a lot of things happen, but we do the things we do when we can, when we are ready. And I think when I'm ready to work past this plateau, I will. But until then, I'm not in a place where I feel like it's stopping me from enjoying what I do. So, anyways, thanks for watching this video. Subscribe, I guess. Most of my videos are not like this. I just wanted to do something different for once. And I guess as a way to fill my daily upload criteria.